Hey everybody, Harrison, I'm back at it once again for a brand new video for you, and welcome to episode 3 of our Gran Turismo 6 Let's Play. Now, you're probably looking at the main menu screen right now and thinking, Dre, why do you have nearly 120,000 credits? Yeah, about that. I'm still having a few teething problems with my Elgato at the moment. Yes, when I originally tried to record episode 3 last night, what happened was the game basically, my Elgato basically crashed. It crashed and the video didn't save itself. You didn't actually miss too much. What happened was I did the first 2 events in the National B section and completed them both. Also unlocked the mission races and the coffee break challenge for National B. And, as a result, directly unlocks the Goodwood Festival of Speed, which I'm going to focus on right now. During the second attempt, I actually started this as well. I did the Alpine A110 there, and then my entire laptop crashed on the second attempt. So this is where we're at now. So basically, that explains the extra credits and the extra stars. So apologies for that. I'm trying to get to the bottom of fixing this Elgato. In the meantime, let's continue with the Goodwood Festival of Speed as we tackle the KTM Expo R next up in the 1.2 section here. The Expo is a 2-seater sports car designed by Austrian motorcycle maker KTM with absolute efficiency in mind. The high-spec model, the R, features a lightweight 790 kg chassis and a 295 brake horsepower engine, making it a monster in its class. Yeah, it's got 555 pp. That's insane for a car that small. That's giving some touring cars a run for their money. Like the Japanese ones, the ones with 500 brake horsepower, which are like 50,000 of them in this game. Have you noticed that in every Gran Turismo game there's always like 50 different Japanese touring cars to choose from? In that whole Super GT category? It's ridiculous. Gran Turismo has been guilty of that since the third game, where they've put in way too much of the similar kind of car. Like, there's 20 touring cars to choose from. You don't need this many. I know a lot of people gave Forza 5 a hard time for only having like 250 cars in it. But at least with those cars, they're not reruns and cars you may actually want to drive. Like, why do you need 17 different Skylines? Anywho. Oh, I jerked it. Went off track. Yeah, for Goodwood, treat it like a license test. Basically, if you put all 4 wheels off the track, you're instantly disqualified. If you hit a wall too hard, you get DQ'd as well, which is kind of a bummer, but there you go. But yeah, like I said, this is an extremely powerful and explosive car, so you've got to kind of be careful when driving it, because you can easily lose control of it by steering. Oh, see, put a wheel on the grass there, and now I've lost control, and now I'm disqualified. Oh dear. See, even just by putting one wheel on the grass, it can throw your car completely off balance and destabilize it. But this is the full 1.1 or so mile Goodwood Festival of Speed hill. You may see this every year on television. You get to see some great cars go up and down this famous hill climb every year. I actually kind of sad in a way, because I really wanted to go to one of these, and I was going to go to this year's version coming up as part of my job, because I work for Zone 1 Radio in Hammersmith, and they cover all these motorsport events. So I was actually on the brink of going to this one and doing some coverage for it, but unfortunately Goodwood themselves took away our media rights for the show, so unfortunately we can't cover it anymore. Bummer. It's on my bucket list to go to one of these things, so that's kind of have to wait on that one, really. Oh, hit the wall there, quite nastily there. Got away with it, but we still easily get the goal with 51.4 seconds. I've seen lighter hits get DQ'd, so I got a little bit lucky on that one. But I'll take it. Unfortunately, I didn't log into the game last night, so unfortunately I don't get the full 150% login bonus now, but I still get 110. If you don't log in consecutively, you go down one stage every day until you're back down to normal again, so bear that in mind when you're looking for that login bonus. But yeah, for sure, I know somebody on Ask FM said, don't you think the game's a lot easier than other Gran Turismos? And yeah, I agree. It is a lot easier than other Gran Turismo games. I'll explain why in a minute. But next up, we got the that's not the Alfa Romeo, that's the Ferrari, I should say. Dino 246 GT from 1971. The car used here is the best known of the series of automobiles named after Ferrari founder Enzo Ferrari's eldest son Dino, which were manufactured in the 60s and 70s. Not only were they styled exquisitely by Pininfarina, or Pininfarina I should say, sorry, when I get pronunciations all over the place sometimes, their immaculate handling is still praised even today. Yay, old school Ferraris. There's something very special about old school Ferraris in this game. They pack a whole heap of them in the Gran Turismo franchise now. Including the 330, the 246. I grew up as a huge Ferrari fan. My very first car poster was a Ferrari 550 Maranello. Google it if you can. I might just slap a picture up here when I edit this thing together. But that was my very first poster car, and it was. I fell in love with it. I had a book with all these car brands in it, and like there was a page for almost every major brand. Like there was the McLaren F1, the Ferrari 550, the Lotus Colton, like all the Mercedes in there. Oh, it was amazing. And then I fell in love with it was a silver 550 in that book, and it was just like, oh, that was the first car I truly loved when I was like 5, 6 years old. It was a book. The book was a present from one of my dad's best mates when I was growing up. I still have it now. Actually, it's in my loft. But the game wasn't kidding. This car does handle really nicely still for a car that's over 30 years old, or 40 years old actually, because it was 1971. This is lovely. Got to be under a minute. I think we're going to do that quite easily here. Around the last corner. That's simple enough. Well, it was a bit closer than I thought actually. It was 59.2 in the end. The Dino's not as fast as I thought it was going to be, but still, a gold is a gold, as you do. Can't complain too much over that. So yeah, that completes the first tier of Goodwood. For those guys that don't know, there are 5 of these clusters of Goodwood events. You'll see more of them later on. As we get more stars, we'll get more invites. So just keep half an eye on that as the game goes on. And obviously when they come about, I will definitely do my best to complete them all to a gold standard. Also, you get prizes for completing them all on gold. So if you get all golds in the first Goodwood Festival of Speed section, you get the Light Car Company Rocket from 2007. Basically, it's a little old school styled car, which basically is kind of a track day kind of thing going on there. And it's very powerful, but very oversteery. Definitely built for handling more than anything else. I like the old school feel of it. It looks great. Yeah, so up to 140,000 as we clear that Goodwood section. Now let's head back to National B, and I think I'm going to do the mission races next to mix things up a little bit. So there's 5 of these in the section. There's more missions as we go deeper into the game. The first mission, B1, the Compact Car Battle. It says here, a sector-based time trial for small cars, overtake the opponent and race for the finish line. Tips, these cars are low in power output, so try your hardest not to lose speed as it will be hard to build it back up again. The goal time, 33.5 seconds. It's basically, I think it's the first 2 corners of Tsuba Circuit. Hopefully, this will round everything off for the episode, because these missions in the first section are pretty darn easy, except for B5. I'll explain why when we get to it. But yeah, we're in the Nissan March, which is basically the Micra, as you now know and probably hate. To be honest, I'm just glad it's not painted pink like Hammond's in Top Gear. So as you can see, we've got to overtake the car and obviously clear the event in the set time. Now, passing the car is dirt easy because these things are really slow, the AI, so... And it's in a slow car, so it's in the Fiat 500. Oh, I'm going really wide here, actually. Don't know why I did that. Hang on. Got the draft on him here. Ride that curve. We ran the inside, we got him, so... Let's try and use the power here to get a bit of oversteer in the car. And... Yep, there's the gold. 33.2. Yeah, that's a record for me? I swear I've gone around here faster. No matter. I'm not complaining, personally. Oh yeah, it's because I deleted my save, that's the reason why. Obviously, I had to delete the save to make way for the Let's Play. A couple of people have asked me how far did I get in that first playthrough, and the answer is I got to about halfway through the A license. So I may have mentioned this in episode 1, but once I get past the A license and past the Red Bull challenge, we're kind of firing blind. Just kind of bear that in mind. Hopefully it'll make the game more enjoyable for you guys as it is for me as well, so hey, it might work out in the end. Mission 2, the FF Sports Car Battle. A sector-based time trial for sports cars with FF drivetrains. Overtake your opponent and race for the finish line. Tips: in FF cars where both the engine and drive wheels are in front, the key to skillful handling lies in careful accelerator control. If you steer when the accelerator is not being pressed and the weight of the car is shifted forward, you can turn more quickly. Yep, they're kind of right on this one, and this time we're in the Honda Integra Type R for this one. Around Trial Mountain, one of the staples of the Gran Turismo franchise in terms of tracks. We'll see more of this later on, but it is a classic. I think it's been in almost all of the Gran Turismo games over the years. But yeah, this is the Honda Integra Type R, and the key is just not to get too crazy with the accelerator around here, so hopefully we'll get it right first time. Again, just got to pass the car in front and win. 31.3 is the target here. Which won't be too difficult. These first two corners are rather straightforward, pretty much flat out. A little bit of braking here because this corner is not as fast as you think it is a lot of the time. Just gonna mind the alpha as I go around the outside of it there. .29, 30, 31.2. We got it. That was close. Yeesh. The thing is, okay, I must admit I was pretty conservative around that final corner when I probably could have gone a fair bit quicker through there. But again, a gold is a gold. Also, I'm kind of bummed like that you only get like 2,000, or okay, in this case, well, okay, if you get the gold, it's 3,500 because they stack. But that's not a lot for a mission. You're like, considering you unlock Goodwood at the same time, and Goodwood you're given like 9,000 if you get a gold on there, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't stack up right. Okay, B3, Read the Road, London City Skirmish. A sector-based time trial on the streets of London. Shake off the rival cars and race for the finish as fast as you can. The track is narrow and it's easy to collide with other cars, so the key lies in knowing when to make your move. Don't waste time and effort trying to pass on the consecutive corners in the middle section. Patience is what will pay off here. So it's basically the first half of the London City track. There's 3 other cars to pass on this one rather than 1, so it's a little bit more difficult. And as they said, it's pretty darn tricky to pass on, you know, the medium speed section in the middle, as you could use the Lotus Europa for this one. But yeah, I know a couple of folks like McLaren were talking about the possibility of a London Grand Prix coming soon. And I know me and Game Riot kind of got into a bit of an argument on Twitter about this as well. Me thinking, my way of thinking is it's just not going to be possible. I mean, given how busy London is, and given they'd have to shut a good chunk of it down for 3 days, like, ugh, I'm not confident about that, to be honest. Like, oh, I hit the car there, that's annoying. But, yeah, it's like, the obvious comparison would be to compare it to Monaco. That's what Game Writer did. Monaco's a different ballgame. Monaco is not as busy as London, which is a hustling and bustling city. Monaco is the land of luxury. Oh, God, they did it again. I'm an idiot. You know, not as many cars run through that area. So I think it would be a little bit harder to run a race event around London, considering I live there and know it very well, compared to Monaco. Or even, like, and then you use Singapore. Now, Singapore probably is a better example. But I don't think Singapore's as busy either during like when it's not a track weekend. I don't know, it's like a lot of shit you'd have to do. Oh god, that's such a minus app. You have to pull off a lot of shit in order to be able to pull off a London Grand Prix here. Maybe use the Olympic Park, because that's fairly secluded after the game is finished. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see it happen. Ah, shit. I keep banging these cars. But yeah, I'd love to see it happen, but I can't see it yet. A lot of shit would have to happen. Basically. I thought I'd take the long way around instead. That might work out a little bit better. Okay, so I kept nudging that front wheel, that car there on the first corner there. Oh. Ah, lost it. This is causing me more difficulty than I thought it would. I didn't do this the first time I played through the game. I got it on my second attempt. Welp, that's a bit embarrassing. Took a bit too much curb there, I think. I know it said try not to pass them on this section, but it's difficult when you're going through it so much faster. There we go. Now you can put off the pass here. We're not going to get gold, are we? Ah, bugger. I've got to find 6 temps. Alright, let's try it. This is a bit of an annoying hold-up, I'm not going to lie. God damn it, Dre, drive the car faster. It's not that difficult. There we go, out of the way of the Alpine. That's definitely a fair shade faster. Oh, he's going very wide, this level car. Yep. We got him. Don't lose it. Yep, we'll be able to control the slide. Oh, bit of a power slide there. There we go. 34.7. Phew. Let's get the hell out of here. I don't like this London track at all. Like, if you're going to have a London Grand Prix, like, and use a London track in the game, make the road a little bit wider so it's actually drivable. Like, driving this thing in cars with anything more than 300 brake is really annoying. It's just too narrow, you can't really pass without barging somebody, it's just not as enjoyable, really. Anyway, 3 down, 2 to go, B4, where to make your move? Bathurst Battle. The Mount Panorama Racing Circuit. A sector-based time trial on the Bathurst track. Shake off the rival cars and race for the finish as fast as you can. Sections where deceleration is required are prime spots for overtaking. Brake just that little bit later than a rival car to bring yourself alongside and then power past. If you can't get inside of them on the corner, beat them to the accelerator on the way out. Same again, folks. This time we're using something a lot more powerful. We're using the Jaguar XKR with over 500 brake horsepower. I remember seeing this Jag on Top Gear back in the day, and it looked really good in silver, actually. You know, it's one of those reviews where I didn't really pay too much attention to it because Clarkson was being silly, mentioning things like, oh, the bootleg's just a little bit too big for a pair of golf clubs, you know. And you know, the general monkey that having a Jaguar makes you look older than what you actually are, which I don't think is actually true. If anything, I think these newest range of Jaguars is actually quite nice. They've clearly borrowed from Aston Martin, which, to be honest, if you're going to borrow from any car manufacturer, why not Aston, which cars, while all look pretty much the same, you could not go wrong with an Aston body style. Apart from the 177, they all look fantastic. Anyway, let's try this next challenge out here. Got one slow mover here. This is the Bathurst track. Big fan of this track in the game. It's very technical. Oh, is this GTO going to... I was thinking about making a pass there, but I'm going around the outside instead. That works. So this is the last one. It's going to be a little bit tricky here, because this corner coming up this complex is pretty fast. BMW Z4, that is. Line up around the outside, that's good. Oh, just short on the time. 38.2. Okay, where am I going to find 3/4 of a second here? Let's try again. I thought I did quite well time-wise on that one. Was I just too slow going around that first corner, I wonder? Maybe I should be trying to be a little bit more bold and dive bombing. I don't know. But that TT goes away really quickly. Okay, we've tried the outside instead. That actually looks a little bit better as it goes. Oh wow, we're closing on that Z4 really quick. Okay, that already feels better. Well, that's much better. There we go, 36.9. Turns out I was really slow on that first corner. Guess that worked out quite nicely in the end. Love that Jag in British Racing Green, by the way. That's a really nice look. Also, I really need to turn some of the game music down when I get a chance as well, because actually, the episode 2 of the series actually got a copyright disputed claim. And you know what it was from? It was from the clip where I showed the Mercedes-Benz AMG Vision. Believe it or not. The music that was in that video was copyrighted, and I said it's a dispute, it's part of the game, which is allowed to be on YouTube, so I don't see what the problem is here. Anyway, final mission. Nissan GT-R Showdown at Silverstone. A time trial over a single lap, in which you must battle your way past the car ahead, avoid collisions, don't leave the track, and race for a record time. Tips: the GT-R's advantage lies in the speed that its power brings. On smaller corners, finish turning as quickly as possible and get straight back on the gas in order to maximise acceleration time. Be aware, however, that the car's relatively heavy weight makes it more prone to understeer, so you can't afford to forget to brake before cornering. Don't waste time trying to overtake on corners. Waiting for straights will minimise the risk. So yeah, we're using the Nissan GT-R Black Edition from 2012, which is basically like it's the standard GT-R with about 70 more brake horsepower, and the whole thing's even more edgy. I've got to give props to the Nissan GT-R though, because that is a lot of car. Like the original one, that was so much car for 60 grand, it wasn't even funny. Like 500 brake horsepower, nitrogen-filled tyres, like 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, and about a 190 mile an hour top speed. Ridiculous. And all that for 60,000 is ridiculous value. When you consider cars like a DB9 are like 110,000, it's crazy. The DB9 is definitely not twice this car. Anywho, as you can see here, the first GT-R gets a 3-second head start on you, and you've got to chase it down, beat it over the line, and set the fastest time possible. It's not as difficult as you think it is. Passing him is difficult. Passing him isn't difficult. What is difficult is trying to stay ahead. Because for some reason, when you pass this Black Edition, it turns into a bullet when you pass it. It just follows you. It's ridiculous. And then when you pass it, now you're up against the clock. you've got to beat 2 minutes 20.8. And that's actually quite hard. This is definitely the hardest of the early missions, like I mentioned earlier. And the car being four-wheel drive doesn't help sometimes. Went a bit too wide there, off the track, yeah. I got that corner all wrong. I put the power down too early when the wheels weren't gripping hard enough. And that's what caused the error. Okay, let's try again. This is definitely going to be the most difficult though. Just being consistent for a whole lap is difficult, and Silverstone's not the easiest of tracks in road cars because it's such a high-speed track. And obviously, normal road cars at high speed are not going to be as good as, say, race cars. Like in Formula 1, Silverstone's a really easy track because it's such high speed. You don't have to be very precise with your actions. Steering is relatively straightforward. So, you know, I like it in Formula 1, but in this game, not so much. Well, minor tap there, but we're okay. Got towards 140. Oh, tapped him again there. Didn't see him while turning in there. I like that the game gives you a little warning now when you're about to touch a car. It's a nice little feature. We got it this time. No! So is it the white line? So the curbs don't count? Wow. Okay. Could it be even more precise than I thought? Okay. That's a bummer. Attempt 3. Must admit though, the GT-R, like, the turbo hiss is really nice on this car. It sounds great. I think it's the most powerful car we've driven in this game so far. Don't worry, there'll definitely be more powerful to come. Oh, tapped him. Well, either that or go really, really wide. I didn't want to do that either. Okay, attempt 4. Let's try this again. Also, like the instrument screen there showing the turbo is fantastic. The level of detail in the car's detailed interiors in this game are fantastic and deserve praise for that. It's just a shame that because there's 1,200 cars in the game, once again Sony are not consistent with the quality of their cars. Like, they all look nicer on the outside now compared to GT5, where some of the used cars look awful. They look really pixelated in comparison to the premium cars. But even so, there's still like half the cars in the game have blacked out interiors. That's not acceptable for a racing game in 2013. And in this case now, 14. I know, it's a lot of cars, but I'd rather have less cars and more refinement and detail in said cars than 1,200 cars which I don't want to, and a lot of them I don't want to drive because they don't look nice. You know, like why would I want to drive an old Mercs with a blacked out interior, because the cockpit view I really like in these games. Oh, come on! And I finally cleared that corner as well, and like I messed up the old first corner now instead. I might have to edit this down a little bit now and like cut out all the failed attempts until I finally get a good one in. Right, attempt 5. I'm getting used to the car though, which is good. I had no chance there. That car had literally parked itself on the apex, and you know, when you're taking the corner properly and I cut back in, just nowhere to go. Attempt 6. This is starting to add up now, in case you haven't noticed. I might get to double digits before I clear this thing, let alone with a gold. Right, let's try this again. I'm going to be a bit more aggressive now in these corners. That's a bit wide. Yeah, too wide. That didn't work either. Attempt 7. Come on, Harrison, get it right. Get a grip of yourself, boy. I'm driving like my mother right now, and that's not a good thing. Can you just give me something nice like an NSX instead, rather than this unpredictable skyline and with a hapless AI driving that's as slow as dog shit until you pass it? Then it gets uncannily quick. It's fucking weird. Excuse my language. It was my New Year's resolution to swear less in videos so that more kids could watch them. So look at the skyline now. Look at it. It's right on my tail. Trust me, this will not go away for the rest of this lap. I guarantee you that. I could drive like the ghost of Ayrton Senna right now, and I still wouldn't be able to break this thing. Maybe. The fact that it gets a free draft doesn't help. There we go. Got the front end in this time around, and we're much better. And now going to this really high speed section in the back now. It's the fun bit though. When you get it right, it's really fun. There we go. You should roughly be at about 140 when you cross this split to have a chance of the gold. It's a 140.8. Here comes the other GT-R now, so they come around the outside of me now because it's got the speed advantage. He actually tapped me as well, my god. And that's messed me right up, that ass. Oh my god. Why is the AI tapping me? God. And that completely threw me off balance as well. I think I was braking a little bit too late anyway, but... Ugh. Attempt 8. Could turn into some kind of Rocky training montage or something. There we go. That was a nice smooth pass. This is the problem with being ahead now. You give that GT-R a huge acceleration boost with the slipstream you give it. Also noticed how I ignore those braking lines a lot of the time? The reason for it, like I said in episode 1, the game is extremely conservative when it comes to those braking lines. So if you think it's coming up red, you can brake a little bit later more often than not. Sometimes they get it right, like mid-corner they tend to be okay, but... a lot of the time they get it annoyingly early and it completely throws you off. I just don't get how this AI car is so slow to start off with, and then when you pass it, it gets ridiculously fast. Like gold medal kind of pace. And then you're expected to win. Like, how do you win this and then get a 227? I'm guessing you've got to be really slow and then pass him at the end. I'm guessing. That's the logic I would use here. Right, I'm not having this GT-R tap me again. The downside is I've not got the best line for the corner. That's not too bad, that's not too bad. Got 20 seconds left. No, 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 no. Phew. Almost ran too wide there. This should be gold. Yes! 219.2. That's not bad, actually. After 9 attempts, we got there. Holy shit. Wow. All of a sudden, this video is now 35 minutes long. I might just cut down on the video and say, like, 10 minutes and 5 failed attempts later. Jesus. That wasn't my finest hour when it came to driving there, but the thing is, the first time I cleared this, I did it in a 220.6. So suddenly do a 219.2, I'm actually quite chuffed with that. So that is the first 5 missions in the game taken care of, which is pretty neat. And I think we will call it an episode after this, actually. It's actually nicely put down, but as a reward for getting all the golds in the National B mission races, you get the Lancer Evo 6 Tommy Mackinnon edition from 1999. I used to watch this car back in the days when I used to watch Rally on ITV when I was younger, and this car was amazing. I loved the Evo 6. Such an amazing car, and trust me, you'll be seeing me using this car a lot, because this is actually a very handy car in the game. I'll surprised. I'll quickly show it here. It's got 466 pp, like a lot higher than the Toyota 86 I was using earlier. As you can see here, obviously ignore the light car and the Mercs. We're not going to be using those for a little while yet. But as you can see what I mean here, 50, 60 more pp. It's got 100 more brake horsepower, and it's only slightly heavier. It's a really nice car, so I'm going to be using this a lot later in the game, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I've been Harrison101. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 3. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys later for episode 4. Until then, I've been Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching, and sayonara.